How do you plan your videos? You mentioned you kind of think about different topics, whether evergreen or current events. Do you have like people that you talk to plan videos, or do you use ChatGPT to plan videos? What's kind of your process that you do to figure out what video you're gonna make?
I tried ChatGPT probably about 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm sure it's gotten better since then, but it just didn't do what I needed it to do. And in a highly technical space that I was at, I worked with the group within the agency that I worked with a lot. Again, they've been in this space a long time and they know their stuff. Now I have several partners throughout the country, many of whom do Medicare, they do finance, they do Social Security. So I'll have a topic in mind based on the questions that people are asking. I'll do as much research as I can and I'll lay that out in a manner that makes sense as to how my brain functions, right? So what is the problem? What is the cause of that problem? How do you solve that problem? And what is the next step around that? And so that's kind of like a general frame that I use. And then
Hmm.
if I can't find an answer or I can't figure it out myself, then I'll reach out to others to make sure that I'm getting it accurate. And then I outline everything. I use a teleprompter. Depending on the video, I'll either have bullet points or I'll just write everything out. For me, writing everything out is easier. If you've never done it before, a lot of people get a little bit too focused and they don't blink and they don't move their hands and they're just staring into a
Yeah.
teleprompter and they get a little bit nervous about being perfect. I think over time you'll learn that it's okay to make mistakes and you just kind of keep going through it. And then if it's a
Hmm.
major mistake and I sneeze or something happens, we can cut that out. But most of it is just kind of going through and making sure the outline is good. I practice out loud before I ever record a video because as you say things out loud versus just reading quietly, different things change. How am I going to put emphasis on certain areas where they're or not? That's kind of the general process for me.
Yeah. No, that seems like a great process. Every YouTuber does it differently, so that's why I asked. What percentage would you say is like planning versus recording versus editing? What is the balance of making your videos like that?
Yeah, I don't know that I would have the exact numbers. I know that planning is a huge chunk of it. So, writing out what I want to discuss, going through and making sure I've got all my sources correct. Again, when you're getting hundreds of comments a day, something that you have to be ready for, there are haters out there. There are people who just, I don't know if they're real or not, but there are people that seem to exist to watch YouTube videos and try to find something wrong with you. And
Hmm.
so I try to get ahead of that as much as I can with credible sources. And so I have all of that outlined. So I think planning is by far what takes the most time for me. Recording is relatively simple. My videos average probably 10 minutes. I have longer and shorter, but call it 10 minutes. Recording a 10-minute video with mistakes and everything and setting everything up is probably going to take me 20 minutes. So you just get an efficiency kind of going with all of that. And then editing does take a long time. I have now since hired an editor to help with that. I still edit some videos, but there are programs out there to help with kind of automating a lot of the editing things from a podcast
Hmm.
perspective, whether that's the software where we're remote or Autopod, or there are a lot of Opus Clips things that can kind of help you make that more efficient. So I'd say planning definitely is the most, editing is probably second most, and then filming it doesn't take too much time.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. I feel like every YouTuber is different when it comes to making videos. So